The Circle of Stars Druid is the new patch 8 subclass for the Druid for Baldur's Gate 3, so let's go over it level by level, combat tutorial and all the items you could need. So of course we start with the Druid. Now Druid gets much cantrips and spells, but the Circle of Stars is really cool because you can switch between different constellations. One is healing, one is really good for like a fiery breath and concentration, all sorts of good things. But let's start with level 1, and of course we gain Wisdom saving throw proficiency and Intelligence saving throw proficiency. We'll also gain Club, Dagger, Javelin, Mace, Quarterstaff, Scimitar, Sickle, and Spear, and Light Armour and Medium Armour and Shield proficiencies with this class. Now when it comes to your cantrips, we are going to take Shillelagh, and we're going to take Thorn Whip. Thorn Whip is really good for pulling enemies close to us while taking damage, and Shillelagh so we can boost our staff if we need to hit things. For your ability points, we're going to have 8 Strength, we're going to have 14 Dexterity, 16 Constitution, 10 Intelligence, 16 Wisdom, and 10 Charisma. For your proficiency, say what you feel like. Druid level 2 brings our specialization and our wild shapes. Now for our specialization, we are doing the Circle of Stars. You are guided by the infinite mysteries of the cosmos. It's through your understanding of the stars that your druidic magic gains its potency. So this obviously gives us wild shape. It also gives us star map. So this is a map of the stars that we can use to cast Guiding Bolt. We gain a starry form, and these are Archer, Chalice, and Dragon. Archer means you have a ranged attack, Chalice is all about healing, and then the Dragon gives you, I believe it's proficiency in Constitution saving throws, and a fiery Dragon Breath. We also gain Guidance as a cantrip, and as you can see, our star map, as the controller goes crazy, for Guiding Bolt, as well as the wild shapes into a cat, wolf, badger, those sort of things. For your spells, we're going to take Ice Knife, so we've got a ranged ice attack. Thunderwave, because this is great for pushing enemies off of ledges, beams, balconies, for full damage, or like from so high to outbound areas that they instantly die. Create or Destroy Water, because we can pair this with lightning spells to maximise damage. Healing Word, so we've got a ranged healing capability. And Cure Wounds, so we have a melee one. Druid level 3 brings our second level spell slots. We also gain a bunch of spells we can choose from. So for this spell here, we are going to take Hold Person. This is great because if you can land it, any enemies that are held cannot move, act or react, and any melee hits within 3 meters on them are guaranteed criticals. This is the quickest and easiest way to shut down a fight ASAP. Druid level 4 brings our first feat. Now for this one we gain another cantrip, so let's take Resistance. And for your feat, we're of course going to bump our Wisdom up to 18. We gain one more spell, and I do like taking Spike Growth here. Really nice way of putting it on the ground, so enemies have to walk through difficult terrain. It will damage them for 2 to 8 piercing damage every 1.5 meters, and it halves their movement speed. Later into the build, we are going to take Plant Growth instead. Or sorry, not take Plant Growth, we're going to use Plant Growth instead, and it ties into our gear, and you'll see why. Druid level 5 brings our third level spell slots. We also gain another star map, so another use of Guiding Bolt. Now for a spell here, I would take Cool Lightning. Again, we're maximising our damage potential with our Cool Lightning and our Create or Destroy Water. We'd also take Sleet Storm because it's just a nice way of having a spell that will, interrupt spellcasters, create icy surfaces, all that fun stuff. Druid level 6 brings your Cosmic Omen. So omens of the future that you gain from consulting the stars. They let you use your reaction to affect the outcome of certain rolls. And as you can see here, whenever you long rest, you consult the stars for a Cosmic Omen of Weal or Woe. The Omen grants you the ability to increase Weal or Woe, or decrease Woe, which is attack rolls and saving throws, and to increase your allies' ability checks. So this is kind of like a the wizard, the portent wizards, where you can like change numbers almost. It's kind of similar, it's a little different, but you'll get the gist. We gain one more spell, and at this point I would take Fairy Fire. Makes a nice little concentration spell that will light everyone up, turn invisible enemies visible, and give attack rolls advantage. Druid level 7 unlocks our 4th level spell slots. So for this one, there is only really one option, and we are going to take the Conjure Woodland Being. Reason being is, not only do we get a summon, our summon can summon their fallen lover, so we'll get a Dryad and a Woodwode for 1 spell slot. Druid level 8 gets our next feat, as well as another spell slot. Now for this one, we are going to take our Wisdom up to 20. And then for a spell here, I would take Ice Storm. Let's get a really nice big damage dealing spell from here. Druid level 9 unlocks our 5th level spell slots, as well as another Cosmic Omen, and another star map for another use of Guiding Bolt. Now for your spells here, I would take Conjure Elemental, so we can get another summon, and I would take Insect Plague, as I feel like this just ties into the Druid so well. Druid level 10 brings improved Wild Strikes, so we can now make 2 additional attacks after making an unarmed strike in our Wild Shape form. And Twinkling Constellations, so our Starry forms are improved. Our Archer's damage and our Chalice's healing are each increased by 1d8, and the Dragon Starry form now allows us to hover and fly up to 6 meters. We get another cantrip, so for this one let's take Poison Spray. And for a spell here we're going to take Mass Cure Wounds. Druid level 11 unlocks our 6th level spell slots, so for this one we are going to take Sunbeam. And our final level, Druid level 12, we're going to take Alert as a feat, so we boost our initiative by 5. And then for a spell you'll kind of want to take something low level. So I would personally take something like Heat Metal, so then you can make enemies drop weapons and stuff. Okay, let's go over our gear, and we're going to take the Browbeaten Circlet for our headwear. +1 bonus to spell save DC while threatened. This will help with our concentration. We're going to take the Flesh Melter Cloak because nothing quite says Druid like dealing acid damage when an enemy will hit us with melee damage. We're going to take the Boots of Genial Striding so our movement speed is unimpeded by difficult terrain. We're going to take the Icarus Gloves, so whenever the wearer deals acid damage, hence our cloak, they also inflict noxious fumes on the target. Noxious fumes, hostile creatures in a radius of 3 meters take 1 to 4 acid damage. For clothing, we're going to take the Armour of Landfall, +1 bonus to spell save DC. Green Bed Regeneration, so when starting your turn on plant growth or vine surfaces, we regain 1d4 hit points, and advantage on Constitution saving throws, as well as the plant growth spell. So this is a great way of giving yourself Constitution saving throw proficiency, advantage on Constitution saving throws, and the plant growth spell. Awesome armor for a druid. We're going to take the Shifting Corpus Ring to give us invisibility and blur if we get in danger. The Burnish Ring to give us Paralysing Ray. The Amulet of Misty Step, so we have a use of Misty Step because who doesn't need Misty Step? Sometimes this is just the spell you need to get out of danger, to get into a high spot or whatever. And then for a staff we are going to take Marker Share for Arcane Battery. Now if you wanted to use the staff for spell power you could, because it does the same thing, you just don't get Kreshka's Favour. But essentially we gain a +1 bonus to our spell save DC and spell attack rolls, and we gain a free spell slot. So let's go find some combat and check this out. Okay, as soon as you leave combat there are a few things we need to do. First things first, we need to get our Conjure Woodland Being. So let's get our Dryad. And our Dryad, like I said, can summon the Woodwode. So let's get the Fallen Lover, when I can find space. And there we go. And then the next thing we can do is we can summon our Elemental. So if we were to come into here, make sure you turn on your Arcane Battery. Reason being is we are going to upscale our spell. So Arcane Battery to give us our free spell slot. We're going to conjure our Elemental, and we want to conjure a Wood Myrmidon. Oh sorry, a Water Myrmidon, not Wood. Reason being, this will help us maximise our lightning damage. And as you can see, we still have our 6th level spell slot. Okay, you can see we're in the combat and we're top of the turn order, so let's get this going. First thing we are going to do is we are going to come into our spell list and go to our wild shape. And let's start with the Archer form. And there you go, now this is going to give you the bonus action ranged attack. So, you'll see this is here, it's not available at the moment because we have used our bonus action. So instead we can still do our main one, and we're going to do something very, very simple, and we'll just throw out a normal Guiding Bolt. So we'll do it at 2nd level so you can see the damage potential. And there you go. And again, we can do our Cosmic Omen of Woe, so we can hit this. And you can see we force the enemy to miss their attack. And then it's time for the Water Myrmidon. So the Water Myrmidon can do a lot of really cool things. It can do a Hemial Strike, it can Explosive Icicle. Let's get up here and we'll attack the Archer here. As we float up the ladder, and you just see the damage output these guys can do, or not. Now the Dryad is really cool because the Dryad can actually entangle enemies. So if you strengthen your staff with Strengthen Shillelagh, you can then run in, and you can snare the enemy. It's not entangle, it's ensnare. I always get it confused. But essentially, you can debuff enemies this way. And then the Woodwode can just hit as hard as it wants to, landing a good crit. Now when it comes to your Druid, we're going to want to get plant growth going. Not only will this slow enemies down, it will obviously give us our advantage on Constitution saving throws and help us heal. Now from here, the next thing we can do is we can do our Luminous Arrow with our bonus action. So if we target the enemy here, and there you go, you'll see you get some pretty decent damage out of it. And because it's a bonus action, it actually doesn't come off of our list of guiding bolts. So you can throw this out as much as you need to. Now, when it comes to the other things, we can switch up as well. So let's change into the dragon, ready for next turn. Just like that. And once again, we can use one of our casts to do the Omen of Woe. Now, as you can see, unfortunately we are ensnared. However, we have got some other things we can do. We could do a nice little explosive icicle on this enemy. Now, unfortunately they are a rogue, but you can see nice little ice circle around them now. And again, your Dryad can hit nice and hard, try to ensnare the enemy again. And you'll see the enemy having to walk through the ice, and the Woodwode can continue trying to pile out some damage.
Another fight. Let's go.
Now when it comes to the dragon, like I said, you can do things like fly and float now. The other big thing you can do, when I can find it, in fact let's fly for a second. So we'll fly to here. And the dragon is really cool because it can do a it can do a dragon breath, which is dazzling breath just here. And this is a bonus action. Now we are going to hit our companions too, which isn't ideal, but for demonstration. There you go. Pretty decent damage. And of course that still leaves our main action, so we can throw another guiding bolt if need be. We could upcast this to 3rd level. Lots of really cool things. Now you can also use your guiding bolts as part of your constellation, which is somewhere in here. But what we're going to focus on is piling out some pretty big damage. And we're going to do a sunbeam. Just like that, and you'll see we did some good damage as well as blinded the enemies. And that is your big 6th level spell for this build. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to switch over to our Starry Form Chalice, and this is our healing one. And again, we can do our Omen of Woe. And you'll see we're still saving our concentration. Even with a big hit, we still make our save. And then our Water Myrmidon. Let's see if it can actually pile out some damage now. And there you go. So this is a really good way to distract enemies, as well as make sure we get enemies wet to maximize our lightning. And again, with the Dryad, you can send them up to try and ensnare enemies. You can also get them to eat a good berry to heal themselves. And again, the Woodwode is just there to be a meat shield and pump out some damage. And now what you see is because we did Sunbeam, we can actually recast it. And it won't use a spell slot, so we could throw this onto the enemy down here if need be. What we're actually going to do though is I'm going to shove the healing capabilities. So let's do a Cure Wounds at 1st level on our rogue here. Now because we did that, we can benefit from our Chalice healing. And we can pick another target, so let's do Jaheira. And there you go. So it's really good way. You have 3 different options you can switch between to do the dragon, the archer, whatever. And because we did that, what we can actually do is switch back to, say, the archer. And you'll see all of this has only used 1 wild shape form. And that still leaves our bonus action, so we could throw out our luminous arrow to the enemy here. Just like that, and deal as much radiant damage as possible. And now we can focus on dealing as much damage as possible too. So we are going to throw out another Sunbeam, because we can. And we'll target both enemies down here. If we can reach them both, we should be able to. And you'll see with our 6th level spell, because we're concentrating it thanks to plant growth with our advantage, we're maintaining this damage. Okay, sadly the rest of the footage has been corrupted and I can't reload it. because now my mods are interfering with the Circle of Stars subclass for some reason. I can't figure out which one it is. But you get the gist. You basically switch between your different forms if you want to. One does ranged, one does the fiery breath, and you still have all your other spells you can do. You've got plant growth, so you can have your advantage on concentration, and it's just an incredible build. You can throw out your sunbeam, continue concentrating it thanks to advantage, reapply it every turn thanks to your 6th level spell slot. You can throw out the fiery breath or the luminous arrow. You can help heal your allies. It's just so good. And then you've got other spells you can do, like your cool lightning. You've got your hold person to maintain concentration. So lots of really good options. So I really hope you've enjoyed this build. If you have, let me know in the comments below and let me know what you think about the new patch 8 subclasses. Also let me know what you changed about building, new items, abilities, spells, all that fun stuff. If you're not already, please like and subscribe to the channel for more. I've got more guides to other RPGs like Baldur's Gate, Dragon Age, Path of Exile, all the goodness you could ever need. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.